There is no time like the present. That's not just a saying, that is a leadership principle. That is a faith principle. And today I want to challenge you with it head on. Because here's what I know about the people watching this. You have something inside you, a dream, a goal, a change you've been wanting to start. A habit would transform your health, your relationships, and your future. And you haven't started it yet. Not because you can't, not because you're not qualified, but because you're waiting for the right time, the right resources, the right amount of confidence, the right and perfect conditions. And I'm here to tell you today, those conditions may never come. And if you keep waiting, the dream dies quietly and nobody notices. But I'm glad you're here today. And we're talking about one of the most powerful things a leader, a person can do. Start today, right now, as imperfect as things feel and seem. I want to tell you something personal. On October 11th, 2026, I started my life of being alcohol free. But here's the truth, it wasn't the first time I tried. I had a lot of false starts. I would start, I would stop, I would start again. And somewhere in the middle of all those attempts, I could have decided to just give up. Decided that because it didn't stick the first time, it was never going to stick. But I kept starting. And on that day, October 11th, something was different. I didn't know it would be different. I didn't wake up and say, today is the day everything changes. I just took one step and then another. Over 6 months later, it's still sticking. Praise and thanks be to God for that. Now, here's what I want you to hear. I had to fail first, multiple times. Every one of those false starts, every single one was building something. It was building me. It was building the day when the start would finally hold. Leaders, your false starts are not failures. They're tuition. They're preparation. They're the evidence that you're still fighting. Let's go to the word for a moment because the Bible has so much to say about action, about stepping forward and not waiting for perfect conditions. Proverbs chapter 4, verses 25 through 26 says, let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet and be steadfast in all your way. Don't quit, keep going. Notice that it doesn't say wait until path is clear. It doesn't say stand still until you have a guarantee. It says look straight ahead, be steadfast, and just move. And then there's Ecclesiastes 11:4, one of my favorite verses for this topic. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. If you're constantly looking at the conditions, waiting for the wind to stop, waiting for the clouds to clear, you will never plant. You will never reap. God is not asking you to wait for certainty. He's asking you to move in faith. Think about every major figure in Scripture. Moses didn't feel qualified. He had a speech impediment. He had a past. God said, go. And Moses went. David didn't wait until he was old enough or big enough to fight Goliath. He ran toward the giant with a slingshot and 5 stones. And he started and he won. The disciples didn't wait until Jesus gave them a full PowerPoint presentation on evangelism. He said, follow me. And they left their nets and they started. They just started. Faith is a verb and leadership is an action. Both of them require you to simply start. Now, let me speak to the leader in you for a moment. One of the greatest traps that leaders fall into, one of the most subtle, most sophisticated forms of procrastination, is waiting for guaranteed conditions. You tell yourself, I'll launch the business when the economy improves. I'll have that conversation when the timing is better. I'll start my health journey after the holidays. Here's the truth. Waiting until tomorrow is waiting on something that is not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. Waiting on perfect conditions is waiting on a thing that doesn't exist. John Maxwell says it this way: leaders don't wait for others to motivate them. They take initiative. They lean into discomfort. They move before they feel ready. And James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, talks about how the system you start, however imperfect, is more powerful than the perfect plan you never execute. Done beats perfect. Starting beats planning. Leaders, your team is watching you. Your family is watching you. And they need to see you model what it looks like to just start, even when it's uncertain and even when it's messy. Because here's the leadership reality: if you wait for certainty, you'll wait forever. The most dangerous position for a leader is not in the middle of a mistake, is standing still, paralyzed, waiting to do something, to initiate that dream. I want to give you a framework today that I believe will change how you think about starting. I call it start, stop, start again. Step one, start anyway. You don't need perfect, you just need momentum. Your first step doesn't have to be spectacular, it just has to be a step. Pick up the phone, write the first sentence, make the first appointment, just start. Step two, expect the stop. Here's the part nobody tells you: you will probably stop. Something will get hard, life will interrupt you. You'll feel like it isn't working, and that is okay. A stop is not a failure. A stop is just a comma in your story. It's not a period. Step three, start again. This is when leaders are made. Not in the first start, it's in the restart. Getting back up, trying again, adjusting your approach, but not abandoning your purpose. Even if you start and fail, you still started. That is more than the person who never tried did. Even if it takes a few starts to get it going, every attempt is building something. You're getting stronger, smarter, more resilient with every single start. If you never start, and waiting until tomorrow is waiting on something that is not guaranteed. It is better to start, stop, and to have to start again than to wait to start and never begin. Because at least in the attempt, you are building something for the next step. At least in the attempt, God has something to work with. Let's get practical. Here's how you start today. Not someday, but today. First thing is name the one thing. What is the one thing you have been putting off? Write it down now. Give it a name. Vague intentions don't start. Named intentions do. The next one is take the smallest possible step. Not the whole journey, but just one step. Send the email, make the call, write the paragraph, start the workout. One step. That's it. The third is tell someone. Accountability accelerates action. Tell a trusted friend, a mentor, a spouse, someone who will ask you next week, did you start? The fourth, when you stop, and you might, give yourself a restart deadline, not an open ended, I'll try again sometime, a specific date. I'm restarting on Monday. Put it on the calendar. Honor it like an appointment with God, because in many ways, it is. I want to leave you with the anchor truth of the entire episode. Failing is temporary, not starting is forever. Let that sink in. Every person who has ever changed their life, every leader who has ever built something meaningful, started with one imperfect, uncertain, and sometimes terrifying step. They failed. Some of them failed repeatedly, but their failure was temporary. They got back up, they restarted, and eventually the start held. It stuck. But the person who never started, that's the real tragedy, because not starting isn't a pause, it's permanent. It's a permanent decision by default. Every day you wait is a day you've chosen not to do it. I don't know what your start today looks like. Maybe it's sobriety. Maybe it's a business. Maybe it's having a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's choosing to lead differently, love better, and live with more intention. Whatever it is, God is not asking you for perfection. He's asking you for a step. He can work with your imperfect beginning. He cannot work with your permanent procrastination. The scripture says in Philippians 1 and 6, He who began a good work in you will carry it into completion. Notice that He began it, but you have to start. You have to take the first step so that He has something to complete, something to work with. So today, right now, after this video it ends, take one step. Drop in the comments below. When was your day? What did you start? Or what are you committing to start today? Let's celebrate the first step together. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it right now. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content on leadership, faith, and becoming who God designed you to be. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, go start something. Have a great day, and God bless you.